Funny as hell, bro.
Right. So we are. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to WSSU Ram Nation. Welcome to all the Rams, all the CIAA cousins, all the HBCU hombres, if you will. It's here for all. The focus is obviously Winston-Salem State University, but we are definitely welcoming to everyone else who wants to come and listen and see how it's done and see how a passionate fan base, sometimes a little extra, gets it done. So yeah, guys, we are not only on the YouTube, but we're also on Twitter as well. So I appreciate everybody for hopping on. Well, I'm not gonna do a lot of talking any more than I've done. I got the three curators of culture here. I've dubbed them B-Dot, DP, and Trellz, and we are going to talk about our new head coach. But first off, how's everybody feeling? So everybody's looking good. Everybody's looking well.
Hey, man.
Everything good. Everything great.
Everybody worked out today. I just left the gym. Everybody got their workout in today.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I just came in from running. Literally came in from running.
Health is wealth, baby. Health is wealth. Gotta get it.
Yeah. But you know what, though? But we in the gym because we might have to suit up this year. Like, we might have to suit up this year. Yeah, I mean, like,
man, you starting early, man. You starting early. So yeah, unless you have been under a rock or unless you don't follow HBCU game day, or I don't know how you even got here. But anyway, we've got a new head coach at Winston-Salem State University. I know the first time the four of us gathered together in this format, we were coming to terms with the loss of one Cleo Hill Jr. He has flown to the D1 school in the sky over in Birdland. So we wish him well.
Boo! I don't care. Boo that man. Boo that man.
They say Winston ain't got a lot going on. I know it got more popping than Princess Anne, but you know. Hey.
Boo the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Boo to Coach Cleo Hill. I love him as a Ram, but listen, get used to the boos, my boy. Like when you're not on the Ram ship, my boy, listen, I can't do nothing for you. I can't do nothing for you. I remember the good times, but as it stands now, boo that man.
Yeah, man. Listen. I always told him he was good at homecoming, but since it ain't homecoming.
It ain't homecoming. we got him to play that homecoming. Coach Hill, we got you to play that homecoming. Yeah. You know you're welcome.
Yeah.
But as it pertains to this space, basketball, boo to that man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, we've got a new coach, Corey Thompson. He is a Winston-Salem State University alumnus. He's the 10th coach, men's basketball coach in Winston-Salem State University history. You know, a lot of schools can't say that. A lot of schools probably had 10 coaches in the last 20 years. Maryland Eastern Shore, probably. But, you know, they have, so he's the new head coach. I broke the news on Monday. Some people weren't necessarily happy that I got out ahead of everybody, but, you know, I'm a journalist. I got to use that Winston-Salem State University mass communications degree and make Maryland Roseboro and Dr. Sadler proud. So I did what I had to do, but it's all love. And, we're here now. So Corey Thompson, as I reported, is the new head coach. Guys, I know we talked the last time. We threw out a lot of names. Someone did say this weekend that I put his name out there, and I kind of barely halfway remember that I did put it out there. I didn't do a video for him, and maybe that was in his favor. Maybe you don't want me to do a video saying you should get a job. But what are you guys' initial thoughts? And then we'll play a little bit of some of the things, because I think the stream got cut out yesterday at some certain point. So I know people missed some stuff. We'll start off with Trellz.
I definitely want to say, folks that's watching, man, please comment in the chat. Like, I would love to see the comments while we're having this conversation.
Definitely.
But I was unfamiliar with Corey Williams, completely unfamiliar, and my vote was for Paul Davis. I was very adamant or very vocal with that. I was rooting for Paul, and I heard Paul didn't even get a campus interview, which was a bit disheartening for me. I know there was folks that was wanting Waukegan and things of that nature. And when I heard the name Corey Thompson, I remembered the name for some strange reason, but I couldn't place it. And then when I saw his press conference and the things that he was saying, and I'm a fan because I graduated high school in 1997. And if I would have went directly to college, I would have started in 1998 with Corey Williams and that squad. And I know a bunch of people that played football, Jonathan Graham, Michael Woody, a bunch of those guys that I went to school with that played football for WSSU at that time. And in that time, that was a strong period for WSSU, man. Like we were winning championships in football and basketball. You dig what I'm saying? Like it was a great time to be a Ram at that time. So for him to be a part of that, I had three components that I wanted in a head coach for Winston-Salem State. One, I wanted it to be an alum. I wanted to be somebody that understood the culture, somebody that understood what it felt like in the game, somebody that understood the history of the coaching staff and WSSU athletics, basketball as it pertains to going to the MEAC, coming back to the CIAA, just understood all of that. Two, I wanted it to be somebody that was a proven winner. Somebody that knew what it was to win, somebody that could say, look, I have one of these, or I have two of these, and this is how you get there, and this is what we did to get there. And three, somebody that has some experience coaching in this era of basketball with the NIL deals and with the portals and things of that nature. I know he's knocking two of them completely out of the park, the first two. The third one still has yet to be seen. But I like his passion. We'll get into his press conference in a minute. But overall, my initial reaction emotionally from this hire, I love it.
Okay.
All right. So, as I navigate back through there, so we heard from Daht. Next, we will go to Trellz. We'll go with Trellz.
So before I start, what's his resume, Gaither? Can you read it out to me?
Yeah. So I am gonna go. I'm gonna have to pull that up for you, but basically off the top of my head. So obviously he played basketball at Winston-Salem State, two-time champion, as B-Dot said. And he also was assistant coach, I think, for a year or so there, as well as St. Andrews. I think he was a grad there. So he spent, I think, about 5 or 6 years with UNC Pembroke. And then he went over to Fayetteville State and was there for a couple years as well with Alphonse Key, who was the head coach there. And then when their time was up at Fayetteville State, he went over to St. Paul's, which is, I believe, in his home area, and became the head coach. He's been there for 8 years. Had some good winning seasons, some 20+ winning seasons. Last season was a step back for them. I think they were 13 and 15. But so yeah, he's been on the high school circuit for the better part of the last decade. He was in the previous head coaching search back in 2018 that ended up yielding us Cleo Hill Jr. So yeah, that's kind of where we are.
Yeah. Okay. So I think for me, I was very vocal with who I wanted. I went to social media with it, just because I feel like my voice for the younger generation of alums needed to be heard in who they wanted. I was perfectly fine also with Coach Ricky. Shout out to Coach Ricky, man, for holding us down for that month of, just some turnover. I want to make sure and give him his flowers as well, because he could have just dipped too. He could have been like, hey, yo, bro, I'm out too. So I want to definitely give him his flowers for that reason alone as well. The school, in my opinion, really didn't do a great job at advertising that he was the interim. So whenever I made my comments, I felt like everybody was gone, right? Until, I found out that, he was in the search as well and everything and all of that. So I say all that to say, the last time I was up here, I said that I wanted an alum to be the coach. So that checked the box. And I also said I wanted a needle mover to move. Now, I'm unsure how that will work, but that will remain to be seen. But I think for me, it's bigger than the search. And I'm happy that an alum got the role and everything else. I'm more so just worried about just the state of athletics in general. It's just hard to get excited. Just from the track record of what we've had, it's just hard to get excited. So shout out to him for sure. I'm sure I'll meet him. I'm sure he's a great guy. From what I've heard, he is a great human being to be around and everything. And he definitely understands what it takes to be a Ram. I think he's in the Hall of Fame too. Am I correct? I think he's in the Hall of Fame too, right?
He is. His team is for sure.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so like all of those different parts definitely make sense. Of course, like we had our different picks that we wanted, but also as well, like like I trust the school's decision. We just have to just wait and see what's going on, right? Like like in 2018 when Cleo came, like I mean I wasn't too skeptical, but also as well I was like, okay, well let's see what happens. So obviously that yielded great results for us. So hopefully, we keep going that route, but let's just see what happens. So those are my comments. But shout out to him for sure. Yesterday had to have been a great day. I can only imagine coming back to my alma mater and getting a big time role and being able to change a culture. I know that's probably a dream job for D and for Daht and for you. Like being able to come back to a school that you love the most. I've always said Winston was a place that people would probably take a pay cut to come back to if they can fix it, right? But also as well, like just being able to do those different things helped out the most. So I'll pass it to DP after me.
Right, it's on you, DP.
Okay. Initial reaction. Not gonna lie, I was very disappointed in the decision that was made. I felt like there were candidates that were as of equal. I think he did check off the boxes that we talked about last time, but I also feel like there are some concerns as far as, and for me, what we are coming from and where we are going. We've already, recruitment is going to be a big thing. That's going to be like one of the things that I'm probably going to want checked off immediately. Another thing that has to be checked off, I want to say is, I'm cool with the alum stuff. That means he understands culture and he won when he played here. I guess for me, he hasn't coached. I think somebody said he hasn't coached college in a long time, but he has been in the high school circuit, and that's cool. But it's just like where we coming from. The recruits that we was just about to get before Coach Hill departure, and where we are known to be, and the level of what we should be at this moment. It's just all concerning. It doesn't seem like the right decision was made. I'm not gonna lie, but to say that is to say this. You gotta still be positive to it. We've won, with the doubts of Coach Hill at first, but also the backup Coach Hill. Coach Hill has won before, and he's been recently in the CIAA circuit. So I guess to say that yes, I am disappointed, but I also at the end of the day, it's still Winston. I'm gonna be cheering us, and of course PAing for us whether we winning or losing. I have my preference. I'm expecting win. So that's pretty much all I gotta say about it. I do feel like we dropped the ball on this decision, and that's just where I'm aligned. I'm gonna stand on.
Okay, I got you. What'd you say?
I just said that's a strong take, man. That dude ain't even put on his damn WSSU shirt yet. You there gonna say it's the wrong hire? Like, I understand we had our picks, and I understand the strengths that we feel like our friends and people that we were supporting had. But like, I agree with Trellz in the idea that we gotta trust the school in those decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. It's a lot of things that we don't take into account: the contracts, the monies, a lot of things that I'm sure we're not privy to when it's just as black and white for us as, oh man, we should pick Waukegan because he got connects here and he's here, or we should pick Paul because he's here. Like, the fact that this man already went through the process in 2018 and came up short lets you know that he was already on their radar for whatever reason. I do agree. I agree 100%. Only high school since 2016, that is a red flag for me. That does, draw some concern. However, it does also let me know that he does know how that high school portal works.
Who can play and who can't play.
You dig what I'm saying? Like, he's been on that side of high schoolers that are seniors that are good as hell but can't get to college because they is somebody in the portal that's older, and we all know how that game goes. We don't have to break that part down, but I do think that he has a vantage point that can be beneficial for us. I think that him being a two-time winner and coming from that cloth of that 98, 99, just in that era of Ram, I think that's going to be strong for us. And, again, I know that, there may be disappointments, but to say that the school dropped the ball on the hire is just that's just a tough tape, because we really don't know yet. That's all
I think.
Okay, well, guys, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, but I'm gonna give a little bit, because we don't know. We do know who the decision maker was on this, and that is AD Etienne Thomas. So I want us to hear a little bit from her, and then we'll get back right into this. But I just want to make sure.
Because as we can all remember, and I tell the student athletes from our first choice institution, you are choosing Winston-Salem State University. And when we do this correctly, as we have, and will continue to do so, you leave with a diploma and championships. The opportunities go together because we graduate champions. That's what I was looking for. That person that would come in and continue to graduate champions here at WSSU. A partner, someone who could see beyond men's basketball and see the institution, the academy for who we are. Someone who could appreciate the legacy and the history here. We had many candidates in the pool, many who had a story to tell. But you know it when you hear it. You know it when you see it. And the first time I heard our new head coach speak and start answering questions, I heard it. And I was trying to find out where it came from, why hadn't I heard it or about him, and doing my due diligence. You hear someone talk about shared vision, which is what this is all about. The opportunity to move a program forward, and to do it with integrity, to do it with pride, and to remember where we've come from and where we're going. And that is so critical. So you think about this interim time, and we bridged our time frame to get to this point today. That bridge was not possible without Coach Ricky Wilson. Appreciative of him and what he did by jumping in with this team and being the bridge from championships and greatness to championships and legacy and success that we will have. And our student athletes are better for it, and so is WSSU for having had him during this interim time and during these last several years. And as we closed out this search in the last couple of weeks, the search committee, who I don't ever reveal them,
right, so I don't find out who's on the search committee.
To be at the helm of this program as an alumnus, head coach Corey Thompson.
That's a little bit of it from yesterday. So you heard AD Thomas say that it sounds like he kind of flew under her radar, because she said where did this guy come from, or where this person come from. Again, as we know, obviously an alumnus, and obviously he was in the previous search as well. When you guys hear AD Thomas talk about what she was looking for, she talked about graduating and championships. She talked about all of the things that you're supposed to talk about. I'm sure this was a decision I'm sure she heard a lot about. Like you said, we all have our favorites. I think, Daht, you touched on something that one thing that you touched on that I want to talk about. You used the word trust. And on Monday night, Tuesday morning, as all this was getting ready, I made a video. If you guys didn't go check it out on the WSSU Ram page, check it out. But basically, I kind of, in with reporting the facts about, Coach Thompson coming in, I talked about how I vocalized what a lot of people feel that that really since Cleo Hill has been hired, in these big moments, in these big decisions, a lot of times alumni feel left out in the dark. A lot of people feel left in the dark, or they feel if they're not necessarily unhappy with the outcome, there's usually the push for more transparency. And I think, as we continue to go forward on this, obviously, they're going to tell you that, you got to dot certain I's and cross certain T's. You're at a UNC system school and things like that. But, when we think about the state of the football program, where we went from going to championship game pretty much every year. Daht never expected to lose. I mean, we went every year from 2011 through 2016, and and as long as the CIAA's had divisions, we've never gone this long without winning, without getting to the CIAA championship game. And even I know we're talking about football, but about basketball, but I think that weighs heavily too. So I think for sure, Coach Thompson is going. This decision is a big one. For sure. I pass it to anybody else who kind of has thoughts on that, and then we'll talk about hear a little bit about him being an alumnus and what his connection is to WSSU, and talk about that era, because one of the things he's going to have to do is he's an alumnus, and when we talk about alumni, oftentimes we talk about young alumni and regular alumni, but at the end of the day, we're all alumni, and everybody's going to have their affinities. Everybody's gonna, I'm closer probably more to the people that I was in my era with, in terms of people that I would think of, and everybody's kind of being that same way. So, your thoughts on that as well, you guys.
What up, Trellz?
So I'll kick it back here as well. I think that's what we were going into until we saw the video. That's what my worry is where are we heading, right? We just have a new chancellor just comes in, 4 days in, she got to pick a new head coach, right? No matter who the AD want, the last signature matters on the paperwork. So who is to say anything could have shook, anything could have happened? Who knows, right? Who knows what her preference was, right? Like AD Thomas is the one that's at the podium, but we don't know what the vision is or where we're heading at all. I think also as well, I think athletics, like I said before, even when Cleo was here, we're at a crossroads. Where do we want to go? Do we want to be the Kentucky of CIAA, or are we graduating champions? Which one are you more focused on doing, right? To me, and this is my opinion, is that we do not have an identity. Who is Winston-Salem State University currently in athletics? We talk about protecting the legacy. Okay. Since Trump has been in office, we have not won a championship in football. That's 8 years. If we go down the list, and I'm a DJ, right? If I tell you what's the hottest song in 2016, I tell you it was March Madness. That was 8 years ago.
March Madness still go though. Like you can play that
right. Listen now. It still go, right? But in 2016, Young Thug was the biggest artist in Atlanta.
And that was 2015.
Right. Okay. So Young Thug was the biggest artist in Atlanta. 2016 was the time that we thought Trump wasn't going to win the election. Let's be bipartisan here, right? But we're just saying how long it's been. Okay. So where are we headed, right? Where are our programs headed? We had a baseball program that was doing well. Of course, baseball costs too much money. We had to let that one go. Where are we going? This is what scares me the most. I mean, up here last time we talked about, our athletic programs are not having enough resources, right? We can't even get enough socks, enough sneakers, enough things. So it's like, I'm worried where we're heading, right? So I felt like this hire should have been a splash hire to me, because I feel like Winston is in a position where you can afford that. If it didn't work, whatever, you figured it out, but you took a shot at it. And I feel like right now, I just don't know where we're going, and it just scares me as an alum looking at where we're heading. It's almost like we're driving through the road with no headlights. I don't know where we're going, and I just have to trust that you just gonna get me there. But from what I've been seeing, from alum standpoint, it's hard to trust where you're going if you just don't know at all. And then everywhere you turn, you don't know if it's a street sign or a stoplight. So those are just different things that, like as a trust builds upon everything, where are we heading? Where are we moving forward? So that's just where I'm at with it. Also, as well, this has nothing to do with Corey Thompson. This has nothing to do with him and his last hire. Nothing. But this is a school as a whole. The school has lost a lot of talent. We can go down the list of departments that Daht has worked with, DP has worked with, of people that's going to different schools and transcending cultures like they did at Winston-Salem State. You can't keep bleeding too many times and not expect to die out if you don't replace that talent with talent. So those are things. It's not just an athletics thing. This is a school thing. Where are we going? So I'll pass it to Daht after that.
No, like I mirror a lot of that. Like I can't front. Like as alum, like I sit in that press box during football season. I've been the PA announcer for the past 8 seasons and understand, like I get it. So, you know, but from that space, like to say we don't know where we're going, like I think we know where we're going. I'm just not sure we know exactly how to get there. And that's from the top down. You know, like I'm optimistic that this new regime with the new Chancellor Brown will bode well for us. You dig what I'm saying? Like we got a lot of fresh energy. We got a lot of fresh energy that feels like they're coming home and they too understand the legacy that Winston-Salem State is, and they want to protect that. When you talk about Coach Thompson, you know what I'm saying? That's all he's talking about. You know, like when we get to his press conference piece, when he's talking about the house already been built, he knows what he's coming into. You dig what I'm saying? So I am one of those, and I know that the length or the pause, I know that the tenure may be different in timing, but I sat in that press box when we was transitioning to the MEAC. You dig what I'm saying? Where we was getting our faces beat in every single Saturday and knew it was coming. Like I'm talking about 1 in 10 seasons. Like I was in the press box then.
Right.
And I heard all the people talking about the sky's falling. This is a bad move. Oh, we should, you know. Listen, you make moves that you think for the betterment of the school. If it doesn't work, you make counter moves. That's all we can do. But as alum, it is our job to support our school because we know, 1, where we've been, and 2, where we would like to get to. And none of that happens without us. If we're sitting back in our houses like, man, I didn't like that hire, man, I ain't supporting. Oh, man, I didn't like it. What are we doing? I ain't supporting. We're definitely doomed in. We're the House of Targaryens. Like it's only going to be one family left trying to damn bring the whole entire family back to life. If y'all don't watch Game of Thrones, you probably don't understand that reference. My point is, we as alum have to continue to be vigilant and or diligent. I mean, in our support, whether it's with our time, whether it's with our skill sets, whether it's with our monies. You dig what I'm saying? Like we have to continue to do that so that we can help Coach Thompson, so we can help AD Thomas, so we can help Chancellor Brown. We have to help them from our spaces. And this is not the time for everybody to go, oh man, like I'm sitting on my hands on this one. It's borderline, we're talking about being bipartisan, but it's borderline like the election. Mm-hmm. Like the people that are saying they're not going to vote are killing us.
Right.
They're killing us. The same way the alumni that say they're not going to support, they're killing us.
Right. Yo, and I want to say before DP jump in, I want to make this clear because people like to call my phone and call me and only hear one part of something. I want to make it clear. This is not about the new hire. I want to make that very clear. This is not about Corey Thompson. It's not about who is there. I'm talking about years and years of Winston losing talent. It's been a hotbed of collegiate higher education talent. You can go from the list down. We done lost one of our provosts before to Lincoln University right here in the CIAA. You can see, you know, some of our top dogs that went to other different schools.
I mean, you got Heather at Central, you got Dubose over at Elizabeth City.
Right.
Like, I think what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that I'm nervous about losing so much talent. Eventually, it shows that you lost the talent. So if we don't replace the talent, where are we going? So that's a bigger question that we all have to answer. But I want to make that clear before somebody be like, oh, well, Trellz said that. No, Trellz ain't say none of that. Trellz, no. So let's kick that off the D. So go ahead.
It ain't what you say, it's what people hear anyway. So that don't even that whole disclaimer was needed, to be honest.
All right, so just to say that once again, I guess this question really doesn't have to do anything with the hire, but I think my question is and concerns is that yes, we are at the end of the day, any student that comes into Winston-Salem State University is here to graduate and enter to learn, depart to serve. Understood. We get that. Any student athlete is also at the end of the day is supposed to graduate, but the word she is using is graduating champions. Now we just talked about the football team. When is our last championship? When is the last time football team was champions?
It was the year of our Lord 2016.
Okay, so that 2016 was the last time we were champions. So you have at least, what's that, 8 years ago?
Good job, BP.
8 years ago. So you're talking about at least 6-7 years of seniors that ain't won no ring. They did not graduate as a champion. We can go down the list. Softball has fell off. Track has recent success, so shout out to them. Baseball is no longer. Basketball has success. Women's basketball has still not won no CIAA as of yet. What else sports do we have? If you cross country, I don't know what they're doing right now.
What bowling and volleyball about? What bowling and volleyball about?
Volleyball, last time I checked, they was succeeding before the pandemic.
What about golf? What our golf team doing over there?
Golf is doing nothing. They just there.
So what are you saying?
So
what are you saying, DP?
We talking about graduation. We talking about graduating
He wants some
champions.
talent.
We've only graduated champions in we want talent. That's what we want.
He said
we don't need a hot. I don't want it mirrored. I don't want it mirrored with that no more. I don't want it mirrored with graduating champions. I understand the message is a positive message and it makes sense. But if you gonna go play that orange ball in CE Game Center, I want you to win. I don't want you to just win a CIAA. I want you to win D2. So let me clarify that as well. Yes, we gonna get a ring if we win the CIAA championship. That's cool. But the goal for Coach Hill and them before they left was try to get as far as the D2 playoffs as possible. It showed in their recruitment. It showed in the players that they had. And yes, we lost some great players due D1. It's going to happen. You know why? Because out of everybody else in the CIAA, we are considered the elite. The jokes has been we the Dallas Cowboys. We have seen it all as far as in what we are looked upon as far as the rest of the CIAA. So we set a standard. As Gaither said in one of his videos, the first three letters in Winston is W-I-N. So yes, we are going to graduate champions and we are going to continue to do that. But as of late, we have not. So not only in the sport of basketball, but for every other sport, we need to start graduating champions in all sports. We need to. So as far as from a talent perspective, this is what I want talent. I want talent. And yeah, we're going to have some 2-year players, some 3-year guys, some 4-year guys, and some 1-year guys. But we need to be winning. And it don't need to just be simple. So that's a message just for Coach Thompson in general. As the PA for men's and women's, hey, I want you to win. I want you to graduate them boys too. But if they are elite enough, however you see fit, bring them to Winston. If you need help, we will help you. We are as much of a resource as anything else. But the message is just not gonna make sense for me. It's not gonna make sense for me when when the coaching record for football don't match that. It doesn't. It does not. Daht should not have to go through this. I pick on Daht every time chance I get about that football team. But Daht does his job. Daht gives me the same stat. I will give him that. He is 3-1 at home. Daht does.
Damn. And you 0-1 with your phone service with your daddy. When you get to bringing up my name, I'll just get you up out of here. I ain't got to do all of that. Because let me just say something. When I want you up out of here, I just get you up out of here.
Guys, please like the stream. It's 200 something. Please like the stream.
I just want to say that a lot of that sounded ridiculous. And a lot of that is the reason why we get called pompous and arrogant and just elite and all of that foolishness. To say that we are not championship U because we have had a drought in football. Yeah, I'm not even going to put you to the test right now, Gaither. But when you start comparing a totality of our championships over the last decade to other teams in the CIAA, I bet you we rank in the top 3. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, I mean,
totality championship, total championships of all sports.
If we say through 2015, 2010, yes. A decade and a half. I don't know. Since 2014, it's kind of, yeah.
My point is, you cannot rest your hat in totality on just football. Like, even when you're talking about D1 schools, how many D1 schools are dominant in football and basketball at the exact same time? That's rare. That doesn't happen often. Like, so to argue that we aren't graduating champions because we took a L in football over the past decade, like, that's insane. Like, that's miscommunicating the numbers, in my opinion. We are still championship U. We are still the bar. We are still the standard as it pertains to CIAA for sure. And we are making our rounds as far as it pertains to D2. Now, have we fallen off in football? Yes. And has our athletic department seemed to have taken a backseat to a myriad of sports, as you all are noting? Yes. And I guess that's a question that you have to talk to Coach Thomas about. But this specific call is about basketball. And we're talking about the hire of Coach Thompson and what he's going to do for the state of basketball. Basketball is not in the dumpster. DP should not have these complaints. When we talk about Daht shouldn't have to go through this, I don't base my job off wins and losses. I can't. I never have, because, again, I come from an era where we lost a lot more than we won. So mine was based on the energy and how much fun we're having in that space, win or lose. So I don't take it as, oh, I shouldn't have to go through this. I'm going through, like, we just back and forth, DP and I, about because, of course, he does primarily basketball and I do football. So, of course, we have that. But in a very serious space, I don't base that on that. Like, my job is not, as much trash as I talk, my job is to energize the audience, energize the fan, let them know what's going on the field, just as DPs is to let the folks know what's going on the court. Now, the things that we sprinkle around that's what makes us great. But we aren't responsible for wins or losses. So to base the moniker of Championship U in totality on the last 10 years, 8 years of WSSU football, I just think that's misguided. And I think that's, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I still think we're Championship U. I still think our goal is to graduate champions. And the first order is to graduate. That's the first order. These are student athletes. And I know this because I have a son who will be going to a school in the next year. And the most important thing for him to do is graduate, not win a championship. Now, again, us as fans, as alums, yeah, we want to win as many championships as possible. But when you're talking about your child, you want them to graduate. If they graduate with some hardware, let's get it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like great thoughts there. Is, I guess DP said he wants the emphasis. He wants to make sure that the second part is complete. I guess that's kind of what he was going for, right?
But DP's been winning. Like, DP has been. I'm not understanding why DP is so upset. I can understand DP being questionable about the coaching hire as the head coach, but we're pushing the basketball team up. Come here, we're Championship U. Still, we say we're Championship U. We just won a CIAA championship in a handful of years in basketball. Like, y'all are still our flagship program right now. I just don't understand why DP is upset with all of athletics.
All right, so
no, I thought he cut his mic off. I thought he cut his mic on. Talk to me, DP. You bet. I gave you permission to come back. I called your service provider, DP, and gave you permission to get back on the call with us.
All right, I'm back, man. Look, like I said, man, I just want to win. That's just what it is. And yes, we have been blessed. We have been winning. I understand that. But the message was, and the hire was based off of that. So I just want to make sure when we go into this next era of basketball that continues. Now, in order for that to continue, some stuff has to be done because we lost a lot. And I'm sure we're about to get into that. But I just want to let it be known that that's the message. And that's the message for Coach Thompson as well. Like, hey, you know, as my role, I'm going to do my role. If you need me outside of that, we can extend that and make that work. You know what I'm saying? I've helped with stuff in the past as far as bringing in folks that it took to graduate champions. I'm proud to say that. A lot of people cannot say that. And yeah, man, I just want us to graduate champions at the end of the day. But I want us to, I'm cool with just doing my sport, but I also want us to win in all aspects. I don't want nobody in no other school to be able to say anything to us. And to Trell's point, we have lost coaches and coaches and, you know, educators and people of talent to other schools, and they have, especially coaching wise, have went to other schools and won championships. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Great points, guys.
Wait. Before you get to that, I want to know who went somewhere and won a championship. Just educate me.
Okay, I know the coach from Fayetteville State right now just won. Yo, and he was on the board with staff.
The track coach from Fayetteville State, yes.
Track been whooping.
Wait. Track and football. Because
football.
What is bruh name, bro? God, dog.
Hayes was on main staff.
Hayes was on main staff for sure. Hayes from Grace, that's my dog. Yeah, that's real.
Hayes was on main staff, but you know, there's a lot with that Fayetteville State, and we talked about that a little bit earlier. And guys, please make sure you like the stream so we can keep this going and keep the algorithm and everything up. But yeah, we talked about that earlier, you know, and I did talk to Coach Thompson about who he felt our rival was, because that's always a great conversation starter depending on your era. So I'm gonna let him talk a little bit, and then we'll come back and go from there. But let me add this video a little bit. This is a little bit of what he had to say about. Let's see, right here.
I'm not concerned about. It's going to take care of itself. But my job here is to be an example. You can do this. For a young man coming into Winston-Salem State in the fall of 1998, not knowing exactly what direction to go, and to lead into the person I am today. Basketball was that avenue, but what I learned here was more than just basketball. It was to prepare me for life. And so our young man will be prepared. Now we talk about the basketball side, protect the legacy. As A.D. Thomas mentioned earlier, I love it. I see it printed out on the wall. I love it. Protect the legacy. As we protect the legacy, understanding that first, what the history is. What is our legacy, right? What is our legacy? So I'm kind of summing up a little bit for those of you who may not know. Most of you know, but this is personal to me. This is not just another job. This is a personal job. This is personal for me. This is personal. This is something. This is like my Duke, right? This is my Duke. We all like Carolina and Duke. I know being a Tar Heel State, you got your Carolina and Duke fans, but this is my Duke. This is my Carolina. This is it for me. Winston-Salem State built me into the man that I am today.
All right, we pause it right there. Daht, I know. You spoke. What did you guys think about when he said that this is his Duke and his Carolina?
I hated it. I would have liked it if he would have started with this is Carolina, but he started with this is Duke. I understand what he's saying. Like, we're top tier, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I understand that. Like, what I didn't like was them brown shoes with that black suit. I did not like that. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I'm just
real talk. Yeah,
I wish you had like a black tuxedo type shoe or something, maybe tapered at the bottom with the pants. I really hope he daggone ups the swag on the sideline. Yeah. You dig what I'm saying? But
that is a party foul right there.
Yo, that right there is wild. The brown shoes with the black suit is crazy. But
you know, bro, the first time I meet him, I'm gonna bring it up like, "Hey, yo, you know you was tripping."
He gonna be like, "I left my black shoes at the crib. Yeah. I admit, and these all I had right here."
Hey, yo, I got that same tie too.
The
I got
red
that
one?
same tie. Yeah, man. Ram Disher. I got the same one.
Nah, but everything he said though, I loved it. Like I love what he's saying. Like I love his presence. I love the fact that he's 6'8". You dig what I'm saying? I love the fact that he smiled, but then he'll turn that joint on and get serious. You dig what I'm saying? Like I just
He's also a Ram too, former athlete. She played on the women's basketball team.
Yeah, I heard that too. And then I seen a picture of him and his son. His son looked bigger than him.
Oh, his son is legit. We'll see what high school he ends up going to, but I'm sure the high schools are going to be after him. He's a legit D1 prospect. He's 6'9", 6'10". I think he got offers from like Ohio, so Wake Forest probably going to be knocking on my man's door, for sure. So okay. So we'll go on a little bit more here, a little bit more what he had to say. Let's see.
Staff at Glade to help us to be in the situation that we are in now, where Winston-Salem State is one of the few historical black colleges that's ever won a Division II national championship, and that's because of Coach Gaines and his vision, and I plan to continue that vision.
His connection there.
I also would like to thank my former head coach and / assistant coach at the time, Phil Stiller, who is a product of Winston-Salem State. Having that unique opportunity to be able to bring in successful players that are successful not just on the basketball court, but my type of player are guys that are successful on the court, but also in the classroom, in their community. Because all that matters. It goes back to a player-driven program.
So now he talks about what his program is going to look like. I know you said the part about the community, DP. I'm sure there was some eye rolling there. I can't see your face, but I'm just messing.
Program, a player-driven program. What is a player-driven program, Coach Thompson? Well, thank you for asking. A player-driven program is where the players take ownership, right? They take ownership of the good, ownership of the bad. As I mentioned earlier with the circle, we didn't know what Coach Duckett was doing. It got to a point where we were actually policing our own teammates. Hey man, you better get class. If you don't get class, guess what? You got one of these. Jeremy looked at me like, what's that? that's 5 miles at 5 a.m. in the morning. And if you do too many of those, you will straighten up. Real.
That would be Jeremy Dixon, who was our leading returning scorer out of Kinston. 4.7 a game. He was a role player last year, but so he was there. It was good to see him there.
That's who we are. That's who I am. That's who I am.
Yes,
Firstly, it's opportunity for them. And we will find them. We will find them. We will bring them in. But you have to have players that fit, that are all on one accord. And I understand there's a lot of stuff that's out there. You got the transfer portal, you got everything. But there's still players out there. There's still a Corey Thompson that's out there that's wanting the opportunities.
Right.
And this university is the opportunity for them. And we will find them.
Amen. Corner
we will find them. We will bring them in, right? And they will be successful, not just on the basketball court, but in class, in the community, right? And so that's who we are. That's who I am. That's who I am, in a nutshell. I'm a very quiet person. Until I get on the basketball court, I do get a little animated, right? Community leaders. It's working. I know the recipe. It's about bringing the right people in that we can trust and we can deal with together. And so I thank you all for listening to me, right? And I'm so excited. I'm excited for this opportunity. I'm excited to be able to lead our program into the future. But most importantly, I'm excited to come home. This is home. This is home for me. I'm excited. And we're going to take care of home. We're going to take care of home. And we're going to find the right staff, the right players, everybody around us that's going to be on one accord. I already know the recipe. Now we just have to go out and get the ingredients. We have some ingredients here already. Some of our players that are here now, we have the ingredients already. We just need to add on a little paprika or something to that. We have them here already.
All right, so he's talking about some of the players that they have there and everything. So great stuff there. I thought so. This was my first time actually meeting Coach Thompson. I read about him and things like that. So it was my first time meeting him, and I found him, to be, personable. He got a good sense of humor. As he said, he's kind of quiet. But I think, when you look at and we talk about Cleo Hill, let me go back. So since I've been around Winston-Salem State since 2004, we've had, I think, 5 coaches now. We've had Philip Stitt, who was an assistant coach who coached Thompson, but he didn't go to WSSU. We had Bobby Collins, who came from Hampton before that. Then we had Coach Wilhelmy, I know, and then we also had Coach Hill, and now we got Coach Thompson. I think one of the things that I like about Coach Thompson is that he has something to prove. For one, he was on again. He was, he is, I wonder what it's been like for him in the last 5 years to watch Winston-Salem State University under Cleo Hill, knowing that he played on that jersey, seeing the excitement that was there, seeing the videos. I know I talked to him and he talked about him and his wife, being able to come to a game at Gaines recently, and seeing all of that and cheering for that, but knowing that, he felt like he could have been that guy. And so now I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder from watching this. He should, and not to say that, he's going to have his own confidence, but he should have a chip on his shoulder from that. He's got, and I think he was a guy who, when he played, even though he's a big guy, he seemed like he felt like the underdog. His first year he went to Fayetteville State, he didn't have a scholarship offer. He was playing in the band. And then he came over to Winston, walked on, won 2 championships, started a coaching career, and now his son is a D1 prospect, right? So he's not afraid to get down in the dirt, get his hands dirty, and make things happen. And now, that's what he's got to work with. He's coming off a program that's won, again, as we know, and so he's got that working for him. And I think it's just going to be a really great chance, I think, as we talk about, we also talked about resources the last time. And I think it's going to be very important. I see a lot of, I know Wakeven is around, you guys' age, Paul was around, my age and everything like that. But there's a lot of alumni in that 99, 2000 era-ish range, and their guy is here, right? So now it's their time for them to step up as alumni. And I know a lot of them already do. But knowing everything that we've got going on in college basketball, even at the CIAA in 2020, in 2024, when you got, the folks in Salisbury, you got Trell's father, raising $1 million, getting $1 million a month, hitting the lottery every month, it's going to take money, people are not playing, people want to take this W off our chest. They want to make this W an LSSU. But, and my question to him, the question that I did ask him in the press conference, I said, we all know about the legacy, right? We all know about what this means and what this represents. We know Big House Gaines. He knows Duckett. We now know Cleo Hill Jr. We know what that means. But in this day and age, legacy probably means less than it ever has before. We saw that. I'm not even going to go there where I was going to go with that. But anyway, we saw that legacy probably means less than it's ever meant before. And so he's going to have to go out there and get talent. He's going to have some resources. And so those 99, 2000 era Rams that are excited about him, it's great to have that excitement about him now. But I hope that those folks who are supporting him know they're going to have to come with it monetarily. And I know, and everybody else as well, but that's their guy. So
great to let somebody else talk.
Hold on now, right? Like, bro,
God dang.
No.
Why are we on here? Why are we on here?
Right, like.
Damn.
The first time I talked more than 2 minutes. Go ahead, Trellz.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Trellz.
I'm like, bro, like Gaither is supposed to be like Molly. Like, hey, look, we got to go to commercial break. You know what I'm saying? He giving his spiel.
I just like, is Gaither asking a question or is he talking? Like, I don't even know. Is he about to toss this to somebody? Like, God damn. Help me. You ain't
okay, I'm a writer, damn it. Sometimes there's nobody here to edit. Hey,
no, you know what, bro? Gaither, man, thank you for number one bringing us on here. Y'all like, bro, like you are hilarious, bro, for real. I swear. But those are some of the things that I just had concerns about, right? Since 2016, you hadn't been in the collegiate ranks. So much has changed since 2016 in just collegiate sports, right? These kids these days not giving a damn about what the legacy is. You want to know what they're caring about? How much you gonna pay me? Flat out. When Carolina and Duke come to these kids' home, they coming in asking, "Hey, bro, what's my check? How many Jordans I got? How many Adidas I got?
That's all I'm saying.
How many photo shoots I got? What's this? What's that?" Right? So it's that dynamic, right? Transfer portal. We just talked about the transfer portal, right? These kids nowadays give you 10 points a game. They gone to daggone LIU. They out. They gone. Matter of fact, let's just go through the list, right? Because we can have this dialogue, right? We just had a big that came from NC State, came to Winston. He gave a solid performance and went right back to UNCG. Didn't play because of the transfer rules. We just had another point scorer that came off the bench for us. Went Power 5. No, not Power 5, mid-major. Then now Power 5. We just had a 4-year point guard transfer, went right down to the Moton, right? Nowadays, you can't keep talent. So the spill of going into high schools and going to go get freshmen and thinking they staying with you for 4 years, I got some beachfront stuff in Idaho to sell you if that's where we coming in at. That's not realistic anymore. We just gonna call a spade a spade. If my son Aiden right now went to Winston-Salem State, he's scoring 20 points a game, I'm gonna try my hardest to keep him at Winston-Salem State because he get 30 shots a night. But also, you got college coaches calling that phone saying, "Hey, look, I got 200,000 if you want to come over here with us." That's life-changing money for a lot of these kids from the 2-5.
But what's, I mean, I agree, but what is your point in saying all of this? Like that's not going to change regardless of who the coach
right.
is.
No. What I'm saying is that I want to know what's the plan on navigating through, and you haven't been in that seat in 8 years, right? What is that plan of action? Because now we see just going to go get freshmen do not win games. We saw that with Duke this year.
We saw it with
a lot of the schools now that are winning D2 have dudes that are 24, 25, 23, grown men. Those are the ones. So if we're breeding high school freshmen, that's why a lot of high school freshmen now can't get a look because coaches are like, I can't win with that and having to develop and then risking them leaving. So what is our plan of action to keep them here if we're recruiting like that, right? So I wish I would have heard in the presser how we will attack certain things, how we will go about it. Those are some of the things I was looking for, those nuggets. Like, okay, hey, yeah, we're going to go attack the high school, but hey, we're going to hit that transfer portal too. Hey, look, this is what we got. Hey, look, boom. And also, Daht, to your point, this is what I'm talking about athletics, right? This was a perfect opportunity of a fundraiser. NIL. Hey, Winston-Salem State NIL, we got a new coach in, boom, 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 boom. This is what we want.
Gaither, you mentioned the 2000. You mentioned the 2000s era, the people that went to school with him. It should be a whole fundraise for that. It should be a whole thing.
Yeah, they got it. It's nice to shout them out, but they gotta drop some money on them now. That's
all I'm saying. It's like, hey, that's what I'm saying. Where are we going? Right? Those strategic things that we're missing the mark on, we can't keep missing the mark on too many times. We gotta fundraise. We gotta get some things in here for him to operate, for him to get a fair shot.
I just feel like dude ain't even put his name tag on the door yet on his office, and y'all is on this man's top. Like, what is you doing? Wait. Let me just say, because like to think that just because he's been coaching in that space that he isn't cognizant of what it takes to be on another level if he's applying for these spots, to think that he is just because he's been coaching high school that he has the mental equivalent of space as a high schooler. That's why I feel like it's sort of this conversation is going. Like You don't think he knows about NILs? You don't think he knows about that he can't win with a bunch of high schoolers? You don't think he knows about the transfer portal?
I did ask you that question. I do have the clip whenever y'all are ready.
Okay.
Right.
He mentions that in his presser that there are so many different things out there with the NILs and all of that. Now, to y'all's point about the alumni, I agree 100%. I agree 100%. There should be much more made of this situation. Like, I think this is the first time that I think, and again, Winston-Salem State drops the ball way more than they hold the ball. And I'm talking about just on a bunch of fronts. We can go from freaking homecomings to whatever. Like, y'all know the conversations we have about this. So we all share a brain there, right? But this is a rare opportunity for Winston-Salem State. See, with Coach Hill, you had the legacy of his dad played at Winston-Salem State.
Right.
You had that alumni base, that older generation, the wise alumni that was familiar with that really wanted to support this. You dig what I'm saying? See, now we have an actual coach who is from the era that honestly I would have been from. That again, I graduated high school. Me and Coach Thompson are the exact same age. I graduated high school in 97 and would have been a freshman in 98. He came here in 98. So that
Most
98
of our alumni are 2000 and after graduates. So he's in that number.
Absolutely. So that audience, I agree with y'all 100%. They need to be
come out
of this. The fundraising, the support, the supported games, the supporting the fanfare of him. Like, and I've been seeing a couple things on Twitter and Facebook and congratulations and stuff like that. But even to that point, like, I think I went to bruh's Instagram and that joint been dormant since like 2021. Like, I need you to understand, like, to y'all's point, like, I need you to understand how important social media is. Like, I need you to understand that. Like, Coach Hill wasn't the best at that joint, but Coach Hill would definitely slide in my DMs like, hey, yo, bro, we looking at him. Say less, Coach. And I handle it. At least know who your support system is that can go handle the heavy lifting on social if you know that that's not your strong suit. Now, with that being said, he's just getting in the seat. So we have to even with Chancellor Brown, she needs to know who her heavy hitters are that can help her in the community and with alumni and things of that nature. I just recently, as long as AD Thomas has been here, she and I have just had a conversation in the last year or so where I told her, listen, man, like, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like use me, please. You dig what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know where the detachment is, like, because for her, it was sort of like a light bulb when I'm like, hey, you're right. We can't. Yeah, like I'm one of your most prominent figures out here in these streets. Kids look up to me. Let me talk to them. I'm wearing extra stuff all the time. Like, I am a billboard. Use that. You dig what I'm saying? But like, again, so I mirror some of y'all's points, but I just want to say, like, let's find out what he knows and what he doesn't before we just assume that he doesn't.
Wait, D, before you go, I want to say this again. This is not about him, right? The fundraising piece is a university issue.
Correct.
Hey, you got a new coach that is a alum of the university. That is a layup.
Basketball, WSSU style.
That is a layup. Hey, we won 2 championships when he was here. Hey, from the range of this, I should have a portal to send out an email. Hey, donate to your WSSU alum right now.
100%.
Everybody give $19.99 or $2,000 or $200. I mean, I'm sorry, $20, $19 or $20.
Only thing I want to say is in the clip that we just watched, and Gaither's going to go to another clip. But in the clip we just watched, he basically said something about the transfer portal. He said something about that in the NIL. But his main focus in that clip was high school and core values, and it's some guys like him that's out there that he is going to find for the program. That's what he said. That's what came out his mouth. I want to also understand. We understand he just got the seat. These are our expectations. I am not trying. I don't want to have no down year. I know but I am realistic. I know that's a possibility based on all we lost. No, I am realistic. No matter what you say, Daht, I am realistic. I am realistic. But what I do want is in this first year, you need to at least show, hey, we are going to compete and I ain't get to really step my foot in the door for real and get the real guys that I really want. But at least for this season that's upcoming, we are going to compete. We are going to have a fair shot at every game that we see, and it gives everybody like, oh, okay, yeah, they took a back step. They done lost all these guys, this, that, and the fourth, but they still balancing around that 500 mark. So let's see what
you don't think that's his goal though?
I think that is his goal.
I'm pretty sure it is, but we're up here talking about our expectations. These are my expectations for our new coach. We got a new coach. These are our expectations. So yes, the donation and all that stuff, that's cool. But my expectations as somebody that's gonna go, like you said, I'm gonna go in there, check in, write down the starting lineup, shout out the starting lineup, and put out him. Create the energy in the environment so it is loud, it's competitive the entire time, no matter who we got out there. The question I still have not gotten or answered at all, how many players do we have on this roster? Who is left? Jeremy Dixon is staying. Okay. How many players do we have currently? Because everybody that I've seen that we had gotten is at Maryland Eastern Shore now. Yeah. Our next top scorer that was supposed to play with us that we talked about on here, he's gone. We was supposed to get his brother. He's gone.
Kevin said 4. Kevin said you got 4 players left.
I got 4 guys.
So what's up? And you heard Coach Thompson in the joint. He said he's ready to get on the recruiting trail right now.
I heard he was already making calls.
And I appreciate
my dude already about that
action.
If you don't think something else he said in that press conference.
Is the portal closed?
I don't know. But something else that he said in that daggone press conference.
It's rolling for D2s. It's all year round for D2, I think.
Okay. He said we're not gonna fail on my watch. If there's anybody that knows that feeling, like I'm telling you, when they let go of Kyle Santillan on radio, everybody expected us to fail, dog. No cap. My boss brought me in the office and he said, listen, we don't know what we're going to do for the morning show. We just want you to hold it down until we figure. I was an interim host. And I brought Roxy in, I brought Drink in. I was like, yo, this joint ain't going to stink on our watch. Like we not like, and with that type of energy comes a pride, yo. Uh-oh, my battery low. With that type of energy on my computer, yo. Uh-oh, I'm about to have to get out of here. Listen, for real. But with that energy comes like a pride that you refuse to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like he said in the press conference, he's going to do everything in his power legally to make sure that we are successful. Coach Corey Thompson knows what it is like to hold a CIAA championship. He did it twice. He knows what it feels like to be a Ram, to be overlooked, to be appreciated, to be accepted, and to graduate. He knows. He knows what it feels like to come back home and now be in front of your peers that you have to, like this ain't like going to, it would be easier for him to go to another HBCU. You know how difficult it is to come home? Like you know that you cannot fail. And I like the fact that he has that much fire to his ass. Like he knows he cannot fail. And I trust that, man. I trust that. Now, how did he get on? You said that he went from the band and he came here and he played. Because there's certain things that you just can't teach, right? Like he's 6'8". Like you're going to find a spot for you at 6'8", son. You dig what I'm saying? So was he the star player on the team? No, he was a role player. But you need role players. Role players understand how to make this fit here and that fit there and that fit there. And I feel like he's going to be a piece that's going to be very essential to when the WSSU athletics becomes the Phoenix that we're all rooting for on all fronts, all sports. I feel like he's going to be a key cog in that piece, man. I really, really do.
Joe Jackson was a role player. Steve Kerr was a role player.
And oh Lord,
his dad is out.
Yeah, his dad gonna provide him and canceled out. But I mean, bro, like yo, and once again, yo, like bro, like I want people to understand we're not putting all of this on him. It's more so, where are we going? Why is there not a donation link out for him, right? For his initiative. And also as well, I'm just realistic about collegiate athletics. Nowadays, these kids these days, I can tell you right now, if a dude come to Winston to come play football, he is thinking about transferring out if he do well. That's not a slight to whatever we got going on, right? I've always said HBCUs might as well just embrace being the next JUCO because that's what they're gonna be. Because now the schools are now paying for talent. If they see an offensive lineman at 6'7", 330 that fell through the cracks and he got some good tape, you want to know where he going? The Duke. Simple and plain. So I want us to be mindful of that as we're moving forward is, hey, yeah, we find them diamonds in the rough. But also, best believe these kids looking for that check too. So what is the plan of action for that? And where are we trying to go? So
and to say again, we are Coach Thompson. We are more than willing to help achieve whatever you need from a recruiting standpoint. We have done it in the past, and we will do it in the future with you as our head coach. Because I need another one of these. Simple, plain, and earth. And whatever it takes for us to still compete and do that, and to win D2. Because I want to be a part of that too. Whatever it takes for us to get that done, as player-wise, you need some convincing done. We are very convincing in our own way, pause, but we are very convincing to get the job done.
Well, greatly said, guys, and we're going to go ahead, and we've been rolling for a minute. I don't want anybody else's battery to die, anybody else to get cut off by Spectrum or anything like that. So I appreciate y'all for hopping on. I don't want my AC to go out, any of that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and call it a night. We're going to let Coach Thompson take us out here with his words on the portal, as you guys have been asking about it, because I did ask him again. Legacy matters. It obviously matters to us. If not, we would not be here. Again, I know everybody's not going to be happy with some of the things that were said here, but I know myself as well as all the gentlemen that were on here, we are passionate about, what it is that we care about, which is Winston-Salem State University. I know we'll all do what we can to contribute to make it the best that it can be academically and athletically. And, I think, when they win, nobody's going to be saying, it should have been someone else. We'll be cheering Coach Thompson and his guys on. So I'm going to go ahead and let him take us out. I appreciate you guys for coming in. Please make sure we had almost 315 people between YouTube and Twitter, which is amazing. So I definitely appreciate everybody. Please, if you're on Twitter, YouTube, go ahead and hit that like. And we're going to go ahead and let Coach Thompson send us out. Let's see here. Let me grab this video file from him. I'll catch you guys later, WSSU Ram Nation.
Transactional. Everything's transactional. But at the end of the core of the skill is about players coming and wanting to be a part of the team. And yes, there are going to be players that's going to move on. That's just the landscape of basketball. The transfer portal is one thing that's really taking over big as far as the basketball. At the Division II level, you have some players that do rotate, move out. But for the most part, your core guys are still high school players that come in, develop, and get better. But then you sprinkle in a transfer here, a junior college transfer, a prep school, things of that nature. And so our job here is to not only just to build a core, but also to add on to that core. That was one thing that Coach Ducky did an unbelievable job when I was here. The core guys were high school players. The Marcus Becks, the Tyrone Robinson, the Tyrone Thomason. Those were high school guys that eventually we sprinkle in a Devin M.D.'s, or we sprinkle in a Sean Alexander, a player of that nature. So being able to have a core of players that, first of all, that want to be here at this university, but also to come in and be able to sprinkle in a transfer here and there. Will we be involved into the portal? Absolutely. Absolutely. But there's a reason why those kids are in the portal. Sometimes we don't quite get that. There's a reason why those kids are in the portal. And it doesn't mean because you get a kid out of the transfer portal that it's going to be the the savior of the program. So you got to understand that too. And so knowing that, finding out the kids that fit us, and it may be transfer portal kids. It may be a mixture of high school kids. It may be JUCO kids. But at the end of the day, we're going to do our job, evaluate, make sure that that player fits our program. Our program. And most importantly, be able to be a representative of this university. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Right, guys. So that was it. Yeah, appreciate you guys for hopping on. Any final thoughts as y'all tread out? Are y'all good?
I mean, man, yo, like at the end of the day, we gonna support, no doubt about it. We're gonna be here for them. We're gonna be here for the university. Everything else that we got going on is great. The only thing I'm gonna say is that alums, we gotta be realistic about next year. We only got 4 people on the roster, and it's July the 10th. Gotta be realistic about what's going on. I mean, like about what's going on. But otherwise than that, man, like, bro, like none of this is on him at all. Like, he came in late. He gonna do a heck of a job. The only thing we want to see in this year coming in is what is our identity gonna be. If we gonna play hard, cool. Just let us see it, bro. We can go 5 for 22 for all I care about, bro. But as long as I know we got something to hang our hat on, bro, I'm cool with that. Because I understand as well where we building to, right? Like, show me some progress. I'm a Panthers fan, right? We was 2-15 last year. We go 5-11, 5-12. At least I know we got an identity, right? And now I can build to something else. But you got to show me an identity first. So I'm cool.
Yeah, I was watching the end. I was going through my Twitter earlier today, Trellz. You probably saw it. I was looking through some old stuff, and I saw the last home game of the 2018-19 season when we played against Johnson C. Smith and Rob Cologne, and some of Crandell was on there as well. Rucker was on that team as well, and that team, you know, they had won 5 games a year before. To Trell's point, they won 5 games that year before. The last year, Wilhelmie, they won, I think, 11 or 12 that year. They had that win, felt really good. I think they went to Livingstone and got roughed up there, and then lost early in the tournament. But I thought that was like a turning point game for Coach Hill, and that kind of let us know that, you know, how his guys were going to compete all the way to the end. Everybody stormed the court. I saw DP in there storming the court, and in the Carolina jersey and everything like that. So I think, like you said, that, you know, that kind of is that bridge here. DP, as the voice of the Rams in Game Center, I'm going to let you take us home.
Look, man, we got our coach now. We've been waiting for this moment. Now it's time for the work. We don't got too long to where basketball season will be upon us. Please support us any way if you can. If you've been watching, understand that resources are important to us. And whatever the core values that was said in the press conference, let's just make sure that we can do our part to where those core values are met. I'm definitely gonna do my part. And like I said, if I will always extend a hand to whatever Coach Thompson needs. Coach Thompson, we rooting for you. Let's get to it.
All right. You guys, it's WSSU Ram Nation. I appreciate everybody, our CIAA cousins, because we know you're watching, our HBCU hombres, and we'll see you on the next side. Peace.